Whopper, 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 Junior, Double, Triple, Whopper, Flame Girl taste with perfect toppers. I rule this day at BK. Have it your way. You rule.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Episode 5 of the Sofa Sports Podcast. I'm sorry we missed last week, but my name is Tommy. I'm here with my co-host,
Evan.
and
Charles.
And we have a special guest this episode, someone very cool, but I'll let him introduce himself. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Calvin DeLude.
Thank you, guys. I really appreciate you having me on. I'm going to do a quick plug for the Morbid Movies podcast. We're here to talk a little bit of movies today, a little bit of sports. But yeah, no, check out the Morbid Movies podcast, and as always, keep watching the Sofa Sports because
Awesome.
it's a W show.
Awesome.
Thank you.
As always, great episode planned. Remind you that we're available for listening on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Pandora. Alrighty, let's get into it. Obviously, the big topic of conversation is the Super Bowl. Happened this last Sunday. I want to know your guys' thoughts.
It was a Super Bowl of all time.
It was a Super Bowl of all time.
Yeah, no, it was the game. Honestly, the first half was miserable. But with like 3 minutes left in the third quarter, it started to get really good. That's like when the scoring really got going. And it's just, you know, I honestly, my biggest beef with the Super Bowl is the coaching of the Niners. Like,
Yeah, no, that was
how do
terrible
you
coaching.
not know the new rules? Like, how that is something that every other team has been prepping for since they made that rule change, and it's been 2 years.
Yeah, it's
They
not like
made
it was
that
just this
change
year.
2 years ago after the Bills' divisional loss. Like this has been a rule for years now, and you didn't know it going into it. Like, that is inexcusable. And as good of a coach as Kyle Shanahan is, I think they should 100% consider either punishing him or outright firing him, because that is inexcusable.
I think Kyle Shanahan is a great play caller. I think he's a great play designer. I don't know if he's a great
He doesn't
manager.
know
He doesn't know the rules great.
Like, that's one thing. Like, Belichick, he knew the rules. He knew how to manipulate the rules to his favor. I mean,
Yeah.
he definitely kind of, like, we've already talked about that in previous episodes and kind of what happened there. But he was great at manipulating the rules and getting the rules to work for him.
Yeah.
So.
What did you think of the Super Bowl, Evan?
It was very boring in the first half, and then, like as Calvin said, towards the end of the third quarter, finally became good, and then everyone knows the
Yeah.
coin flip,
Mm.
which, I mean, so the quarterbacks were mic'd up, and you see Patrick Mahomes running back. He's like, they want it. I don't know what's happening. They want the ball.
Yeah, that was a terrible
Yeah.
choice.
I also think it's kind of an excuse a little bit on their end,
Yeah.
where it's like, oh, we didn't know the rules. You guys lost, and you
Yeah.
guys are mad
Yeah.
about it, so you're just going to say that.
Well, a funny story. So I was watching the Super Bowl at Adam Rice's house with a couple of friends and his family, and like the squares, like where you pick squares before the game even starts, and then once the game starts, you're shown your numbers. Their end of game numbers were Chiefs 5, Niners 2, and that was with like 5 minutes left in the fourth quarter. And Mr. Rice all of a sudden comes downstairs. He says, "Guys, there's a shot. If the Chiefs tie this game up, we go to overtime, Niners get the ball to start, kick a field goal, then the Chiefs go down, score a touchdown, win the game, we win $2,000. And we're like, oh, dude, like, I'm 100% rooting for this.
Yeah.
And it went down perfectly for them, dude, and it was so cool seeing them win.
There you go.
Like, it was so because of the Niners not knowing the overtime rules and horrible game management, Adam Rice's family just won $2,000.
There you
So that's
go.
pretty cool. I got it.
During that exact same time period, I was watching the light fade from Charles's eyes as he realized as he realized the Chiefs were going to win it.
Well, I was rooting for the Chiefs.
I was not.
And
Yeah.
listen, I feel dirty saying that. I do. I feel
Yeah.
dirty. But as a Seahawks fan, I can't root for the 49ers. I just can't do it.
Fair
So.
enough.
That's fair.
Fair enough.
As a Patriots fan, I cannot root for the
Yeah.
Chiefs.
Yeah, no.
Same.
People who hate the Chiefs don't blame them at all. You know, if you
Can't
wanna,
root for the Chiefs, can't root for the Bills, can't root for the Dolphins. Those are the
Yeah.
three.
No, I get it. I'm with you.
Yeah. So, wondering, you guys think the Chiefs are going to three-peat? Two in a
No.
row. Good team. Do they have another one in them?
No, they don't. They're running. They had a rough start to the season. I mean, they lost to the Lions in the first game, and I think even though they came back and became Super Bowl champions, they don't have that dominance they had a few years ago, and I think they're still probably going to make a playoff run. They're still going to be in contention, but I don't think they're going to. I don't think the Ravens will be able to let what happened this year happen again, and I think that they will they definitely have the team that should be in the Super Bowl next year. The Cowboys also have a great team. I know they don't compete with the Chiefs on that divisional side, but if we're thinking going to the Super Bowl, you have to actually win. So, like, you'd have to play the Cowboys. And I think between those two teams, the 49ers, some of the other powerhouse teams, I think Travis Kelce's getting older. Mahomes is still kind of in his prime. I mean, the team still has the makings. Their wide receiving core is finally starting to figure out how to catch a football.
Yeah.
So
That's because
Well, I
Kadarius
mean,
Toney
yeah,
was
they-
ruled out.
Yeah,
They're-
they didn't play Tony. That was
Yeah.
really it.
Something I thought that was interesting. In the 3 Chiefs Super Bowl wins in the last 5 years, there's been 0 offensive holding penalties on the O-line.
Yeah, no, I've been seeing a lot of videos on that of looking at
Yeah.
the holding calls that were called on the Niners and stuff that wasn't called on the
Yeah.
Chiefs. And I'll admit, like, there's some really, really bad no calls.
Yeah.
Like, really bad ones, especially on Bosa, because
Yeah.
Bosa's just a beast. Like,
He is.
wait, he didn't have a single sack that game.
Ridiculous.
And yeah, I mean, you know, you gotta be able to have good officiating in a game like that. And this is why there's so many of those memes about the script and about
Yeah.
glazing Mahomes. You know,
I think that obviously no sports officiating is going to be perfect, flawless, but I think
Yeah.
that I mean
you gotta look for a holding,
we
dude.
see it in the NBA, we see it in the NFL, we see it in almost every league except for really baseball and
Yeah.
soccer. That
'Cause, I mean, now
feel
that they're-
like you do see it in baseball as
Yeah.
well.
yeah, but they're starting
I
to automate balls and strikes.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, and yeah, obviously, listen. In terms of baseball, it's not the calls that are made; it's the consistency of the calls that are
Yeah.
made. Like if an umpire is calling consistently, like, you know, like their strike zone is a little lower, but it's like I'm okay with that if they're consistent about it. But if they're calling some low and some high and balls and
Then
strikes,
it's- yeah.
that's what gets me mad. But if they're
Yeah.
consistently like just a little bit off, I'm cool with that.
Yeah.
But that's where the officiating is annoying in the Super Bowl because it was really lopsided where some things were holdings and some things weren't, and it happened to go in the Chiefs' favor.
Yeah, I mean, as a Patriots fan, we've had our fair share of, officiating calls that have really gone our way, but we've had some
Yeah.
against us, and the Chiefs haven't really hit that point where they're getting the calls against them.
I mean, like, definitely with the Super Bowl and other sports, like in football in particular, reffing, it tends to you can see a trend of like the team that is the popular team, even though they may not be directly being favored by reffing, they're getting they're getting a little nudge from the refs.
Yeah.
It's not like blatant. I'm not saying they're cheating. I'm not saying they're like fixing games, but if the Chiefs and the Jets are playing, the Chiefs are getting more of the calls
Yeah.
than the Jets are, is basically what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
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 I mean, I don't know if you guys saw the clip on Twitter. It was of the 49ers defensive lineman just basically being held by the Chiefs, like his arms were wrapped around
Yeah.
him.
Dude, did you hear what's going on with the Niners O lineman and Jalen Carter?
Oh, I saw that.
Dude,
what
that
what
how
happened?
as an Eagles fan, I'll explain it, and I'd like to hear your opinion on that, Evan. But basically, so one of the Niners linemen, Feliciano, was talking smack about his teammate. Like he tweeted, "Oh, if he makes this block there, then he has an open pocket, hits a wide open receiver, we win the Super Bowl." And he's basically just talking smack about his own teammate. And so the dude responded the next morning, like, "Come on, man, it's kind of messed up." And he's like, "You know what? You're right. I'm sorry. I was hungover." He said, "I was hungover." He's like, "I was hungover. I was upset. Totally not okay. I'm really sorry I did that to you, man. That's completely disrespectful." And Jalen Carter reposted a screenshot of the tweet saying, "This is the same dude that was making fun of my dead teammate." Which, if you don't know about what happened with Jalen Carter, he did a lot of dumb stuff in college and did like a lot of like drag races like in the streets, and because of that, one of his teammates died in an accident that he was in. So I mean, a lot of people are blaming him for like basically murdering his teammate, and he got off of it with 0 charges, which I don't know how, but I mean, he was proven to have been drag racing. But so basically, Jalen Carter said that, and Feliciano responded with, "Jalen Carter literally told me he was gonna murder my wife and family." So I'm curious what you have to say about that, Evan, as an Eagles fan.
If that is true, I'm not saying like either side is true,
Yep.
but if that is true, I'm disappointed on both sides. I
agree.
mean, like when you're smack talking, you're just kind of having fun.
Yeah,
When
it's
you're
gotta be about the
when
game.
first of all, when you're threatening someone else's family, and when you're bringing up someone else's close friend who passed, like that's. I think it's both parties are wrong.
I agree.
I think that smack talking has to be like for it to be
Yeah.
when it goes too far. It's when it
Keep
goes
smack talking the game. Don't
Yeah.
don't bring up personal stuff. You
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. All right. Now, I'm gonna throw in a hot take early. I've been thinking
Okay,
about it.
early hot
Okay,
take.
go
All
ahead.
Early
right.
hot take. What do you guys think is the best live sport? 'Cause I-
Baseball.
Yeah.
Easy baseball,
It has
dude.
to be basketball.
Basketball. Yeah, I
Mm.
mean,
So
I've seen a baseball game live, so I can comment on that. I think basketball is just a better like it's a I feel like you're just a part of a family when you're
Yeah.
watching a basketball game with a good team
Yeah.
that has a good fan base.
So what makes me ask this is a couple weeks ago, Charles and I took a little adventure to Boston. We went to see the Celtics game where Marcus Smart's return. They destroyed the Grizzlies. Wonderful
Nice.
time. Spent ridiculous amount of money.
Oh yeah, dude. Those tickets are so.
Like
they weren't
dumbly
actually that
expensive,
bad.
yeah, but the tickets plus the jerseys plus
Yeah. Well, you're
the-
copping jerseys, and yeah,
we
that
copped
might be a
jerseys.
little.
Yeah.
plus the 10-piece chicken tender buckets. Oh,
Those things were like $20,
oh my
right?
god, they were ridiculous.
$2
They
a
were
tender.
so
What?
good.
$2 a tender.
Something like that,
That's
but
nuts.
They were so
They were,
good.
it was like the best
though.
chicken I've ever eaten in my life. But we had a great time. I want to talk about. There's just fans at live sports that I feel like you see it more in basketball than any other sport. Crazy people.
Yeah.
Oh,
In
man,
our
Boston
section-
fans.
In our section, we had two in particular really crazy people. We had a guy looked like an Oompa Loompa, like a bright orange spray tan and green hair and beard, chirping the entire time. And then so we were in the third to last row in the entire stadium. And in the last row, there was this guy who from the back was chirping the ref, Scott Foster, the entire time.
Strongest Boston accent you'll probably ever
I'm not
hear.
going to do it because it's probably
I
gonna
don't
be
think
offensive.
either of us could do it justice, but this
But-
man, you just could hear him, and he was chirping Scott Foster. He was a big fan of Jordan Walsh.
I'm
He
also
wouldn't
a Jordan Walsh fan, but
he would not be quiet about Jordan Walsh.
yeah, no, I love Jordan Walsh, but I think that you see more crazy people in basketball, and I think that's what makes it the best.
I mean, I wouldn't say that. I feel like you find more crazy people who are like fun crazy. I
Yeah.
think there's more crazy people in probably football than,
Oh,
but they're
yeah,
not the
absolutely.
fun
Yeah.
type of
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
They're the
Eagles
dangerous
fans
type
kinda
of
crazy.
Eagles
Yeah.
fans.
Yeah. No, I'm gonna disagree with you there. I don't think it's because of basketball that you're saying this. I'm thinking it's more just because you're a Boston sports fan. So that's really all you've seen. But I think in terms of the craziest fans, like I think it's got to be football, dude. Like the fan base is there.
Yeah.
Like I went to a Phillies game earlier in the year, and like it wasn't a playoff game, but it was a big matchup. It was against the Braves. Like, you know, they were fairly tame,
Mhm.
but like Eagles fans, any game of the year, are just insane.
Yeah.
Like they are ridiculous. I remember I read a book called NFL Confidential, and it was about I think he was on the Eagles, but he kept himself anonymous, and he just talked about like kind of like the dark spots of the NFL, and he was just talking about like dude, like buses would come in, people would be throwing stuff at the buses, like Eagles fans are just nuts, dude, and like they are. I don't even put them in like the top 3 most crazy.
Yeah.
Like I put Bills over them.
Oh, I hate the
I'll
Bills
put
fans.
Raiders over them. I probably put Pats over them. Like
Probably Seahawks.
Seahawks fan, but I like Seahawks because they're not like disrespectful.
They're
Like,
loud
just-
though.
They're loud.
Like it's loud.
I'll admit, like, I mean, well, the stadium is,
Yeah.
designed to cause seismic activity, which is what it does, which is awesome.
It was
But I mean,
sick.
Chiefs
You
fans.
guys
are,
have a really cool stadium.
Dude,
I'll just say that.
I've only been there once, and it was one of the best experiences of
Yeah.
my life. It was
I've
so
been
sick.
to every single Boston stadium, and yeah, I don't think any of them noise-wise could ever compare to that.
Yeah.
The Garden got loud, but not that.
Yeah,
loud.
I mean, I went to the Garden to see Travis Scott. I didn't go for a game. But like just going back to what you're saying though, like Boston sports fans are crazy because it was not a basketball game, it was not a sports event, but Travis Scott was walking through the tunnel and you could see the Celtic in the background and all of a sudden you're Celtics, and it's
yeah.
like crazy, dude.
Yeah,
So it's just like those sports fans are just nuts.
but I just
man.
think the amount of passion that I felt in that room in a
Yeah, for sure.
40-point blowout against a
Yeah.
team that is under 500, I've never seen it anywhere else.
I don't know.
I mean, like that Marcus Smart tribute gave me chills because everybody like There wasn't a single person in that arena that had any ill will towards
Yeah, no.
Marcus Smart.
I think
like,
5 thank you Marcus chants broke out throughout the entire game.
Yeah.
Like to the point they're having to like stop the game because people are chanting so loud. But
Yeah, I mean, any time a player leaves, especially a player that was so so loved by Celtics fans, it's always going to be a big deal. Although it's interesting to see like the difference on it because like you have Marcus Smart who left and came back and was welcomed, but 2 of my teams had their like franchise player leave, and when he came back, he was brutally booed.
yeah,
So it happened with the Seahawks. Russell Wilson came back to the like. I didn't realize how many people hated Russell Wilson until he left because when he came back, dude, because it was on Monday Night Football Week 1, and I was seeing all these former Seahawks players. I'm like, wow, this is like really nostalgic. Like seeing all these players that I grew up watching, and it was really just because they wanted to see Russell Wilson come to Seattle and get beat. Like they hated him that much. And I was
Really?
like, wow.
Was he just a terrible? I mean, Heine's on the plane, but like, was he a terrible?
And he's on the plane.
Was he a terrible locker room guy?
I don't think it was more. I don't think he did anything bad towards other players. I just think because when he first came into the league, dude, like he carried himself with such confidence for such like a scrappy young guy. And then when he was kind of established as a superstar, I think it got to him where he was more focused on his brand and on him.
Mr. Unlimited.
Yeah, Mr. Unlimited. and like also he's just such a cornball, dude.
He is.
He's such a goofy guy. Like the video after he extended with Seattle and like he's literally in bed with his wife and they were either pre or post, and
Gotcha.
and he's just like, "Hey Seattle, we got a deal." And it's like, "Go Hawks!" And it's like it's the stupidest thing I've ever seen. Dude.
So you think people just hated him because he was annoying, rather?
Yeah,
than,
I think so. And
He's
I,
like the
yeah.
annoying little
He-
brother.
Because I mean, with there's a Apple TV documentary coming out about the Patriots.
Yeah,
We're
I'm definitely
hearing-
gonna watch
I'm
that, dude.
super excited for it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna.
There's one coming about so you know how Hard Knocks they have
Yeah.
they're making one for baseball and
Oh,
it's
yeah,
about
I'm
the Red Sox.
so
That's gonna be
actually-
sick.
I'm excited for the regular season one. They're also doing one for the 04 season for the 20th anniversary of it. Really excited for that.
Yeah, the 04 season's dope.
But the
Like as someone who does not like the Red Sox,
Yeah,
I mean
it's
it's still I'm
dope.
still gonna watch it because it's sick.
Yeah. But so the Patriots documentary, we're learning all these new things about the relationship between Bill and Tom, between
Yeah.
Tom and Kraft, between Bill and Kraft, and something came out that Bill created such a toxic environment there that even after Tom left, that Mac Jones turned into such a toxic little crybaby that Bailey Zappi was, instead of watching film in the quarterback's room,
Yeah,
he was
I saw
watching it in the
that.
receiver's room.
Yeah, I
Like,
mean that's just
doesn't surprise me at all.
that's crazy. I'm really curious to see what Mayo does for the Pats. I mean he's really well respected in that
Yeah.
locker room.
Mhm.
I'm curious to see what the Pats do with Mac Jones and with Bailey Zappi. I mean I know they're in contention to get Caleb Williams. They could possibly
Jaden
get
Daniels.
Drake May. I think Jaden Daniels is the most talented player in this draft.
I agree.
will. say
Besides
that,
Marvin
but-
Harrison Jr.
All right, Marvin Harrison
But
Jr. is a dog, but yeah.
I don't
quarterback.
I don't want to draft a receiver without someone to throw to him. That's my thing. I would rather sign T Higgins over the offseason or trade.
Well,
for T
I
Higgins.
think the Bengals are going to franchise tag him. So it's
I think
not-
maybe a tag and trade would be.
tag and trade is a possibility. I wouldn't say it's likely.
Yeah,
the
but
Bengals seem pretty
I'd rather
pretty
snag a
solid
receiver,
keeper.
a veteran receiver, to give your rookie quarterback someone to latch on to. But
yeah.
yeah, awesome.
It's awesome.
So the NBA All Star break. That's where we are right now.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of snuck up. Oh, before I forget. So I saw this video last night. Joe Mazzulla hit 100 career wins.
Mm-hmm.
A big
Big achievement. For
big
him.
achievement for him.
Absolute destruction of the Nets.
Yeah. Like they went from winning by 8 to winning by 50. I think
Yeah,
that's
they-
just the
the half-
Boston
the-
effect right
I don't
there.
think the Nets were under 35 points in the first half. It's just
Yeah.
like-
I think it's
Damn.
it's more of the Nets effect. How the Nets are kind of
yeah, I think it is the Nets.
Dude,
And
the
I
Nets-
think
The Nets
I don't know how they're not
downfall
less.
was
I don't
the
know
Nets,
how
crazy.
the
dude.
Nets were on the other side of the biggest trade in Boston Celtics history, where they traded KG and Paul Pierce, and then
Mhm.
got the picks where they got Jason Tatum and Jalen Brown.
Yeah, dude. I mean,
I think the Nets are.
yeah, like the Nets downfall is just insane. You had Irving, you had Harden,
Durant.
Durant. Like, I mean, They should have been
Simmons.
so.
Ben Simmons.
And
Ben
Ben
Simmons.
Simmons, dude. Ben Simmons.
He's still
I'm
there.
sure you hate Ben Simmons as a Philly guy.
I do
Yeah,
hate him, but
yeah.
prime Ben Simmons was something.
Prime Ben
Who do you
Simmons-
hate more, Ben Simmons or James Harden?
Yeah.
Oh, dude, how do you hate James Harden? James Harden's.
I gotta go with Ben Simmons because at least with James Harden, I understand his whole situation where the Sixers organization screwed him.
Yeah.
And he
Yeah.
wanted out. But with Ben Simmons, you gotta feel kind of bad for the guy.
How
He
do
got
you-
injured and then was just kind of scared
Yeah.
after that.
How do you
He-
feel that James Harden is like succeeding so well with the Clippers right now?
Good
He's
for
doing
him.
so
Good
good.
for him.
Good for him.
Yeah, because
you
he's
know,
they're kicking butt over
Yeah,
there.
dude. James Harden was one of my favorite players growing up, and I'm not like a huge basketball guy, but it was James Harden and Dame were my top
Yeah.
two.
Oh, I
Harden on the
can't
Rockets, dude. I
stand
love
Dame at
watching
all.
him. You can't stand Dame?
I can't
I
stand
can't stand
Dame.
him, but I respect him.
He's good. I think Dame time is like the stupidest thing ever.
Dame time. Dame time.
I think that
Dame time.
I think that if it was a player that I like doing that, I think it would be sick.
Oh,
but
yeah. I mean, you know, there's
It's-
so many
it's-
other
I-
players out
Tatum
there.
can't
needs
stand-
something like that.
he doesn't though. He's that good.
He does though,
he
because he
doesn't.
needs something that gets him. We need that fiery Tatum that we saw in the Pacers game. I think it was the second Pacers game.
Yeah. Or Game 7 of the Philly series last year. I'm sorry, but the 50 bomb.
When
You know what
Tatum
Tatum
gets
needs?
angry, it's his sight to see.
Oh, I love it.
You know what Tatum needs? Tatum needs to stop showing his dumb kid on social media.
No,
that's my,
no,
that's my hot take of the
I
day.
love Deuce.
Deuce Tatum is the most
I
obnoxious
love
kid in all of
Deuce.
sports. I will put him above Trayvon Diggs' kid. I'll put him above Aiden Diggs.
What are you
Deuce
talking
Tatum
about?
is the most annoying kid in all
Deuce is
sports.
adorable.
I can't stand him.
I
He's on
love
the court.
that guy.
He's such a little brat. He's annoying. I don't want to see
Dude.
him. He's constantly on my feed.
So
like
cute.
I'm calling you out, Deuce Tatum. What camera? This one or that one? Deuce Tatum, I got beef with you, man. We trying to fight as soon as you turn 18, because I'm much older than you. As soon as you turn 18, we're getting in the ring,
Dude.
buddy. We're getting in the ring and we're boxing. Because Deuce, I can't stand you. You're annoying. You're a brat. Unless you get it together in the next few years. As someone who doesn't watch basketball enough, I'm sick of you. I'm sick of your garbage. I don't want to see you anymore. Jason Tatum, stop showing your kid. Thank you. That's my hot take.
Okay, I
You
think,
really
I think
hate
we need
Deuce
to.
now? No. I'm not moving on from this.
Are you sure?
Oh, you want to jest?
I will
buddy?
keep going.
You want to jest?
The little guy, he has to leave at halftime now because he has to go to school.
Yeah. Don't go to the games.
It's adorable.
Listen, I'll put him above the. Who was that? That Raptors kid who kept screaming
Yeah,
whenever
fair
they
enough,
went to
fair
shoot
enough,
the
fair
free
enough,
throws.
fair
I will put him more annoying than that kid.
So cute.
No, he's not.
Yes,
Al
he's-
Horford's kid's nice.
Al Horford's kid.
Al
I
Horford,
love
Big
Horford's
Al,
kid.
Little Al. I got no
Little-
beef with
Little
Little
Al.
Al's.
Little
No,
Al.
I got no beef with the
beef
little
Lil
Al.
Al.
Giannis's kids, dude. Giannis's kids are adorable. I love Giannis's kids.
Giannis's kids. Giannis is.
Well, he always
Thanasis
uses the
stuff.
sunglasses.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
my God, Thanasis is a dog. Did you see they're coming out with a new documentary about
Yeah.
Giannis and his family? Which, like, if you're gonna,
They
if it's
already
about
did
his,
one though, and
Well,
it
if
was really good.
if it's about
Like,
his family, why not call it Antetokounmpo or however you say it? I think that's pretty good.
That's pretty
but they just call it Giannis. And it's like honestly, dude, just call it Thanasis. Thanasis is a dog.
Thanasis.
He's a
What a
beast.
name.
Thanasis would be working at McDonald's if it wasn't for Giannis, but
He's a ring, right?
Thanasis,
does
yeah,
have a
yeah,
ring.
he has a ring.
And-
I think
and-
all the brothers were on that team that won.
He has more
I-
NBA championships
I don't know,
than
maybe.
me, and I mean that's not that impressive, but still,
Hey man, he's got one.
one. That's one more than
All I'm
me.
saying, I have the same amount of NBA championships as Charles Barkley. So
He has more. Thanasis has more titles than Barkley.
yeah, man.
Oh my gosh. I mean, I would say I have him in little.
I mean,
in
you
rec
have the same
titles.
amount of titles as Tatum, so
Yeah, but Tatum's like still a kid.
Yikes.
Okay.
30?
he's not.
He's
that-
25.
Yeah, he's been in the league for 6 years
Yeah,
now.
he's 25.
Who,
Dude,
Tatum?
6
Tatum.
years.
Yeah, no, Tatum is a lot younger than I think.
And he's still.
I realize
He's
that he is.
still
No, I'm
at
not
his
saying
prime.
he's past his prime or anything, but it's time. It's time for
Yeah,
a
this year.
championship this year. Come
Let's
on.
do it.
Yeah, no, I mean the Celtics
You
got to
need
get
to-
it done sooner or later.
You got to get it done with Big Al on the team. Big Al.
Yeah,
needs
no, because he's got.
we
he-
need to retire Big Al's number. I'm saying
that-
it here.
I agree with that.
If he
Yeah.
wins the championship this year, I think we have grounds for Big Al's number to be retired. And
Yeah.
I've wanted to see that happen for a while. Big Al is one of my favorite players. Will always have a spot in my
Oh
heart.
yeah, I think that if they do go to the playoffs, we should try and do a Sofa Sports field trip and go watch a game.
Oh, so I'm pulling up is what I'm hearing.
But anyway, All Star
Free ticket.
Break just started. Back on track. All Star Break just started. I'm excited. I'm so excited for the dunk contest. I have never once watched the dunk contest, but Jaylen Brown is in it.
I know.
He
I've
is-
seen it pretty much every year, but They're all
so
like
excited.
rookies usually that you've
Yeah.
never heard of.
I'm so excited because I know that Ja Morant's awesome, but he's hurt right now, so he doesn't count. He's the best dunking guard in the league right now, and it's so much fun to watch,
Mhm.
and I'm really excited. For
Who
that.
was the last All-Star starter who
Oh, it was
participated
2018.
in the dunk
I don't
contest?
remember.
Do you?
No.
It was 2018. I don't remember who, but
Remember what team he was on?
Well, because didn't LeBron participate when he was like a rookie?
LeBron does
Because he
everything.
did it like one time and then he didn't do it
Yeah,
after
he
that.
hasn't done it
'cause
in the
it didn't
Has
go
LeBron
well.
made the All-Star game every single year of
Yeah.
his career?
I think
Because I saw like it's like, oh, it says like 21st straight,
yeah,
and I
I
was
think
like,
every
dude, he got drafted in like 04 or 05. Like,
maybe like
Yeah,
he's
it's
missed
gotta be.
one, but I don't think so.
like, dude, it's.
I'm gonna look
it's
this up
crazy.
and
He's
see.
been so
Yeah.
nasty for so
Is Cur-
long.
This is Curry's first one that he's missed, or did he not make it rookie year?
I don't know.
He's been good for so long that I
I
think it's
hate
possible,
Curry.
but
I hate Curry.
You hate Curry?
why do you hate Curry?
Because he beat us in the finals.
Oh,
That's
okay.
why.
I mean,
Alright,
Warriors are
that's-
my second team, so like,
You're ridiculous.
I know I'm ridiculous.
You're ridiculous. Second team.
I mean, Packers are my second team, so
Oh, dude.
That's because you used him in Madden.
What's the matter with you?
no, because he's my dad's second favorite
Oh,
team.
jeez
So
Louise. No second favorites. Only Boston.
No, yeah. Listen, you can't listen.
they're both
There
on
are
in the
teams
other
you
division.
bandwagon, but there's no second team. I mean, all right, I guess I kind of have a second team, but like,
Who's
because
your
like
second team?
I'm
Who's your second-
I'm an Orioles fan, so like if the Seahawks are out of the playoffs, like I'll hop on the Ravens bandwagon a little bit, but I'm not gonna be like, oh yeah, we just won the Super Bowl, Ravens
I'm
all the
not-
way.
like, I'm not
like
gonna-
I'll root for them, but like,
Yeah, no, like
Uh,
that's what I'm saying is like if the Patriots
Yeah.
are, I mean, this year the Packers didn't they had it going, but not
Not
enough. And also like with the Packers, we don't really get Packers football
No, we
very
don't have
often
the-
on our
whatever the-
channels. So like,
Yeah.
if they're on, I'll watch them. I'll root for them. I like the Packers.
Yeah.
Part of it was I liked Aaron Rodgers Packers. I don't like
Do
the
you, wait,
Jets
do
now.
You, do you like Aaron Rodgers?
I don't like him now.
Bank.
I kind of stopped liking him after he
Sat in a cave.
no,
Dude,
no,
that-
he
dude,
went
that
on
is
an adventure
the
with his
craziest
hair and-
story. Oh, dude, his hair, the journey with his hair, the handlebar mustache, and the cut
I miss
of
the
a famous
handlebars.
dictator. I won't say.
I miss the
Did you know
handlebars.
that
Oh.
one time I met Aaron Rodgers at the Masters?
You did not.
Really?
Dude.
He was standing at the practice green 20 feet away from me, and he wouldn't let anybody talk to him because he was like,
So you didn't meet
I'm
him.
here as a spectator. You guys are supposed to be focusing on the golfers. So he basically, and that was like one of the most powerful things for me because he was like, here's this. This was when he was like really big, like going to
2015, 16.
20, yeah, probably 2015, 2016, maybe a little bit later than that. I'm not 100% sure on the year, but it was like he basically like a bunch of people noticed him, ran over to him, and he basically turned around and said, "No, you guys are here to see the golfers, not me,"
Yeah.
and then walked away with his security guard. Just so that he wouldn't take the attention
Yeah.
off the golfers who have worked very hard to be there.
Yeah, I've never met any athletes, but my dad met Shaq, and
That's nuts, dude.
that's about it.
No,
Wow.
Met him in Disney World. His
Same
rookie
here.
Year.
Never won, but my dad, he met Charles Barkley at a Sixers game at courtside seats.
There you
Barkley
go.
gave him a high five.
Nice.
I met a former Orioles player that was their pitching coach in 2017. I don't even remember his name, but he was a dog. He like got into, like a bunch of fights, but it was super. It was super cool because my dad did one of those Dream Week things where he got to play with a bunch of former Orioles players, and that was his coach, and he recognized him. So they had a little conversation before the game. He gave me a ball.
Oh, that's sick.
I still got some friends.
My dad went to like the Red Sox, like winter weekend thing a couple years ago. He met Big Papi.
Oh, dude, Big
I think it's
Papi.
sick. But
I would love to meet Big Papi.
favorite player ever.
He's such a
Yeah.
dog, bro. I love Big Papi.
Evan, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
How are you?
It's bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why don't you tell us how is Philly doing?
We're crashing and burning without Embiid, but
Wah, wah.
Womp womp.
but Maxey, he's showing up. I'm excited to see Maxey.
How long has Maxie been on the
I
team?
think he's only
This
like
is second
20.
or third year, right?
Yeah, he's
Dude,
young.
Maxie's crazy. I actually love Maxie.
I just
He's
was
so good.
curious as to how much future on the team he had. I knew it was a long time. I knew he
He's
was
got
young,
it.
but I was just not sure.
I think he's
Yeah.
coming right to the end of his rookie contract. I think that's
Yeah.
what the-
So they're gonna have to sign him for a big contract.
yeah,
pretty soon.
he deserves it. Maxey's great player.
Do you think he deserves a supermax?
No,
No, not yet.
Gotcha.
not yet.
Not
Gotcha.
yet. But I think he'll get there.
Yeah.
Him and if Embiid actually kind of becomes more of a team player,
I think there's a
They'll
little
be
bit
a
of a
good
ball
team.
hog situation going on
Yeah.
in Philly.
Oh, 100%.
A little bit of a
100%.
Luka situation.
Yeah, I mean,
But Luka's justified because Luka can take a shot with 0 seconds left on the shot clock. It's the worst shot you'll ever see, and he'll drill it.
I feel that's
so-
more Jokic.
I think it's.
Oh, that's what I
Yeah,
meant.
yeah.
I was thinking Jokic, dude. I don't know why. I always get those two mixed
No,
up.
I
Me
did too.
too.
I did too. I thought they were the same player for the longest time.
Yeah, no.
But
But yeah, no. Luka definitely a ball hog in Dallas there.
Does he really have anybody to pass it to though?
I mean, I
Yeah.
guess not. Is Kyrie still?
I
with
think
them? don't
Kyrie
know where
is with them. I think Kyrie's there.
I'm pretty sure Kyrie's
Kyrie
still
is-
with them.
Kyrie
yeah.
was on the Nets and then he moved on from the Nets, right?
I think he's.
And he's on. He
the
got
Mavs.
traded to the. He got traded to the Mavs.
Oh, that's
But
right.
dude,
He's a Mav.
my-
Remember, he
Mavs,
stomped on Lucky's head. He
Oh.
stomped on the Leprechaun's head on the Boston logo, and the Nets haven't beat the Celtics since.
That's
And then he got traded like 3 days later.
But dude, my favorite story in basketball over the past 3 years was how bad the Mavericks choked at the end of last year, where they were doing really good, and then they just fell off the face of the earth.
Oh, yeah.
And they fell off so hard they got investigated for tanking. Like that's how bad they were. How embarrassing do you
Did they miss
is
the
that for a team?
playoffs, or did they just
No, dude,
missed
it was
the
last
playoffs.
season, dude. They just
Oh, yeah.
choked.
I remember
They
that,
choked
yeah.
at the end of the season, and to the point where they started getting investigating for tanking. It's like if you're
Nice.
not tanking, like it's like, dude, we're that bad.
What
we got
happened?
investigated
Well,
for
'cause
tanking. We
weren't
fell
they-
off that hard.
They're like
They were in the top 3.
Yeah,
and
dude,
then
they were
fell,
nasty.
Because the Celtics were at the top going into the All-Star break, and then they
The
fell
Bucks.
apart for a bit.
Yeah.
Because and then we fell down to
second.
or
They were second. In for
second, but
playoffs.
I think the Mavericks prior to the All-Star break were right around nearby us, and then they just kind of fell
Mavs,
right away.
They were like right
so-
before the All Star break around third, and they finished 11th in the division.
that is
That
terrible.
is-
Yeah.
Ugh.
No, the Mavs.
Yeah.
The Mavs fell off hard.
Yeah,
How are
no.
they doing this year? I have not.
They're not bad.
Pretty good. I think
Celtics beat them.
they're like
That's the only Mavs game I've watched
Wasn't
this year.
Doncic one of the ones that dropped 70 in that
73,
like
yeah.
Yeah, and
week
that
of
like
70
week of
bombs?
Oh
week
yeah,
of-
dude. Where
week where 4 players dropped like 60 plus.
Embiid did.
Seven.
Luca did.
Yeah.
Devin Booker did.
only 2 of those games.
Cat did. Carl Anthony.
He did.
Or it was
Yeah.
It was the
Anthony
same
Edwards. It was
night
Anthony
Embiid
Edwards.
had his.
Yeah,
It
yeah,
was
yeah.
Karl Anthony Towns.
Yeah.
But
Mavs are 7th right now in their division.
So
So,
I think it's time to talk about why Calvin's here, Mr. Morbin Movies co-host. We got
Yeah,
a
man.
movie.
We
got a
do. We
movie.
got a movie, and the movie this week obviously is gonna be something sports related. We're going nice and easy this week for you folks. We're going with The Sandlot, a classic. One of those movies where everyone knows it, everyone loves it. Everyone's had to seen it at least one point in their
Oh,
life.
yeah.
It's usually a go-to
Even
watch
Charles.
Yeah,
over
Charlie.
the summer.
Even Charles.
Yep.
It was
Yeah.
so much work to find a sports movie that he had seen.
Yeah.
Well, it's less than a sports movie that I've seen. It's more a sports movie that I remember.
Fair. Yeah, and you still.
And you crammed it, and instead of focusing in
Yeah.
Spanish class, you watched The Sandlot. And I
Hour
think
and a
it's
half movie,
hysterical.
hour and a half class,
There
got
you
it
go.
done.
Yeah,
I
it
like
was
it, dude.
worth it.
That
I'm-
is.
I'm a big Sandlot guy. I think it's a really, really good movie.
Oh,
I'd
yeah.
an
put it
amazing movie.
2 or 3 in terms of baseball movies. Probably 5 or 6 in terms of overall.
What's above it in baseball?
I would put Field of Dreams definitely above it. I love Field of Dreams.
I've not seen Field of Dreams.
And I'd probably say
neither.
Moneyball.
Moneyball
I
is
love
the
Moneyball.
best sports movie. I'll die on that hill.
Rocky.
Any day.
No.
No. It's not Rocky. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I love Rocky. I'm literally Rocky. In terms of character, Rocky's the
Yeah.
best athlete, fictional athlete in all
Mhm.
sports, or just or any movie. But
Mm.
Moneyball's the best sports
I
movie.
mean, personally, I'm more of a fantasy and realistic history type movie person. So sports isn't my.
you realize there's a lot of good sports movies. out there.
No, I'm not
Remember
saying
the
that I
Titans?
dislike
love
sports
What
Remember
about
the
movies.
Titans?
Waterboy? You seen the
With
Waterboy?
Adam Sandler.
No.
Dude, the Waterboy's a classic. Gatorade. H2O. Gatorade. Dude, it's so good, dude.
But I remember I lost it when I was like 6 or 7. When he's charging at the guys, they going like, I lost my mind. It's just
What
scream-
sport has the best movies?
It's a tough one.
I think it has
Honestly,
to be
dude,
football.
I can't name you a basketball movie other than the Space
Hoosiers.
Jams.
Hoosiers.
Okay, Hoosiers,
Giannis-
Space Jam,
the Giannis
Hoosiers,
documentary.
and Mike or like Mike.
Didn't Adam
Mm.
Sandler just have a basketball movie?
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
he did.
Hustled. Hustled was a good movie. That
Mhm.
was a good movie.
Is
yeah.
would Air be considered a basketball movie about the sneaker?
Air? I don't know. I don't
That's
know.
more
if-
about like
it's more
the
about the
making.
sneaker culture.
Yeah.
Which one has the best sports documentary? I think. Is
Oh,
an easier
the-
question.
Oh my
Oh,
God,
Last
basketball.
Dance, Last
The Last
Dance.
Dance is the
Yeah.
best
Last Dance is
documentary
so
of all time.
good.
I mean, you got Last Dance. You've got the Giannis one that we were just talking about
Mhm.
earlier. That one is.
I gotta watch that
phenomenal.
one, dude.
I
You've
watched
never
like
seen it?
I watched
No.
the first half of it and then I fell asleep. I'm not gonna lie. It was at,
Honestly,
the end of
like
a really long day.
I don't like Giannis at all because he's a Buck and we have to
Yeah, I
play
can't
him.
stand the Bucks.
And I don't like the Bucks, but I sat down. My dad was like, "We're gonna watch this movie." I'm like, "I don't really want to watch this," and so I sat down, watched a little bit of it. He has a crazy life
Yeah,
story.
I have
like,
Yeah,
nothing
dude,
against
Giannis is
Giannis.
crazy.
It's more just I hate the Bucks.
Yeah.
No, I respect that. Like, I mean, it's the same thing with Big Papi. Like, I love Big Papi. I can't stand the Red Sox.
Yeah, fair
you
enough.
know?
Well, I mean, that was when I watched it. Was around the time when Giannis was kind of showboating. So
Yeah, that's fair enough.
I mean, he's kind of
Yeah.
stopped doing that a little bit, so it's easier to respect him. But
I mean, you know, he just won the chip. He was super
Yeah.
excited. you know?
yeah, I don't blame him. I would be gloating if I won a championship.
Yeah.
no, but it wasn't
I
like
would tell
it
every
wasn't.
single person.
It was like after that season, like the season after, he was just kind of like there was
he was still riding high.
he was
Yeah.
riding high. I think there was a game where he was beating the Celtics pretty good, and he went in for a dunk, completely destroyed whoever he was dunking on, and then just like almost stood over them, which like in football is now automatically taunting. But
Yeah.
they didn't
That's
call
Yeah,
it a
Zay
single
Flowers,
thing.
Zay Flowers.
Zay Flowers. I wanted to draft you, but
Yeah.
I'm happy with Gonzo. But I think that back to the Sandlot.
Yeah, back to
Back to the
Sandlot.
Sandlot. We got a
Get
little off
back
track there, but back to the Sandlot. I love it. I think it's awesome.
Yeah, it's a movie where you honestly you really appreciate child actors because
Yeah.
you don't realize like you're like, oh, it's super easy for a kid to just go in there and do their thing, but like it is not easy to be a good actor at that young, and there isn't a single hole in that lineup.
No.
All of them do a great job.
Mhm.
Question: how many of them have gone on to do other great movies? 'Cause
Dude,
I
listen.
cannot.
I'll talk to you about the individual movies, stuff like that. That
Yeah.
that IMDb stuff.
Oh,
you
yeah.
know,
Mm.
I can't tell you.
I don't-
It wouldn't surprise me if it's none of them, honestly.
I feel like
So I feel like it's a
childhood
trend. There's
gonna be, like,
actors,
one or
unless
two.
unless they're like
They probably
Disney
ended up addicted to
stars,
drugs,
like-
knowing the history of child actors, but you know.
yeah.
Probably, but
I mean, because there's so many
Mhm.
that you could go off and name that just
Yeah.
it didn't work out for them. I mean, Macaulay Culkin's the first one that comes to
He's
mind.
the
That
most
wasn't
famous
his
case.
fault though.
No,
Yeah,
no.
I mean, you know,
But-
he took the drugs, but
Well,
he
I mean,
did.
Yeah.
But no, I love Sandlot. I think it's a awesome
Sandlot.
movie.
Yeah, I mean, I think easy best scene in the movie, 4th of July
Oh, yeah.
fireworks game.
Mhm.
Anytime, like I remember I went to see the Yard Goats on the 4th of July once
Mhm.
and seeing the fireworks go off. I was like, dude, this is like literally the Sandlot.
Oh yeah.
This is the coolest thing ever.
Where did I see fireworks? Fireworks. I saw at a Red Sox game. Red Sox Yankees. 4th of July.
It's so cool. Dude.
Sick.
It's fireworks during baseball. I don't know what about it. I put it in top 10 things ever. It's just so cool.
Ever.
I don't know. I
Everything.
feel like baseball plays in the best season.
Yeah.
in my
Oh,
opinion.
100%.
Baseball.
Because it's just like it's got that like summery vibe. Like
Mhm.
going to a baseball game, like you don't just go for the game. You go for the food. You go for. I mean, sometimes
I
you gotta
mean,
sit through lousy.
Fenway Park
super hot
ketchup is
weather.
disgusting.
Oh my god, dude!
It's so
Can we
bad.
talk about that?
It's
like,
so
dude,
bad.
you just unlocked a whole carton of memories for me, dude. I went to a Red Sox Orioles game 2 years ago, and I was like, all right, just bought my chicken tendies. I'm about to drizzle some ketchup on it. I took one bite. I was mortified. Mortified. I thought I was poisoned. My life flashed before my eyes, and I bit
So-
into it, and I was like, what is this? What is this? Is this contraption? Is this? And I tasted it again. I was like, I'm not the problem. It's not me. And the people I was with, they're like, yeah, no, it's terrible. And I was like, yeah, this is atrocious. And I genuinely, I thought I was gonna die.
What
I
type
have
of ketchup is it?
It's Heinz. It's the
How do
Heinz.
you mess up
But
Heinz?
I think they only use gluten free or something.
Yeah, it's like weird,
Diluted or something?
lumpy. It's like
it's disgusting, dude. They probably pull it from last summer. I don't know.
Fenway Park, I think, is like one of the greatest stadiums in
Oh
sports.
yeah, it's a classic. Like
And there's
if you're
so-
looking at the actual look of it and the layout of it, it's a dump. But
Well, yeah, but
in
like,
terms of how
the
how
atmosphere,
Oh, yeah.
the environment.
you go for the experience at
I-
Fenway, you don't go for the architecture. Like it's
yeah,
a
no,
great.
and I think they generally have pretty good food, but
yeah.
just
So bring your own ketchup.
So
is
bring
what
your
Bring
own
your own ketchup to the Red Sox games wherever you wherever you are out there.
oh yeah,
But anyway,
But-
Sandlot.
Sandlot.
I mean, you know,
Yeah.
it's a great movie. James Earl Jones.
Does that now make it two amazing baseball movies that James Earl Jones is? He's in Field of Dreams.
I really gotta
Was he
watch
in
Field of
Field of
Dreams.
I think he
I'll
was.
check. I really gotta watch Field of Dreams. I'm pretty sure he was. Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, I've it's a lot different than what I have heard, like what I thought of. I thought it was just about a team playing on a cornfield, but now I realize
No.
it's like there's more into it, you know. So
Kinda,
I
but-
definitely got to give it a watch.
Yeah.
I don't think he's in it.
What's the dude who's leading in Field of Dreams?
It's Ray Liotta.
Ray is it
No,
Ray?
Ray Liotta.
No, it's not.
Ray
It's-
Liotta is
It's the guy from
Oh,
It's the guy from Shawshank.
no, it's
I'm
the
going
guy
for it.
who was in Draft Day. He was the GM in Draft Day.
Draft Day's a great movie.
Draft Day
is
is
an
a solid,
awesome movie.
solid fuck, yeah.
It
What is his name?
is. My phone isn't loading.
I'm going through the
Because
cast.
it's the dude in Better Call Saul. Where she's like, "You are not this person." And he goes, "I was last night." But
Wow.
but I'm trying to think, what's his name, dude? Someone
I
look
think
it
he
up.
was like
Someone
the
look it up.
whispering voice.
No,
Kevin
look up-
Costner.
Kevin Costner. That's
Goddamn,
it.
yeah.
Yes, Kevin Costner. Yeah, I mean,
James Earl Jones is in Field of Dreams. So is Ray Liotta.
He is.
dude, what
I know.
cast are you looking at over
Field
there?
of Dreams. Kevin Costner, Ray Liotta, James Earl Jones.
Oh, I just completely missed that. Yeah.
Nice one.
Yeah, no, Kevin Costner. You know, he does so good
Yeah.
in Draft Day. I'm really,
Yeah.
I definitely gotta get the Field of Dreams. But yeah, I mean, just saying, baseball just has a lot of really, really good. movies.
Yeah. Like
You have
that's-
Moneyball, you have Sandlot, you have Field of Dreams.
I put
You have
all-
Major League, which is one that not a lot of people have seen. Major
Yeah.
League is one of my favorite movies. I
Really?
love it so much.
Yeah.
It is the best comeback story. It's got some of the most quotable lines.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The humor hits, the drama hits. I don't know, Major
Like,
League. I don't know if you guys have
generally,
seen it.
I have not.
It's on Max. You 100% watch it before the baseball season. I always watch before the baseball. I might go home and watch it tonight. I might. It's a great movie.
You promised me you'd watch Saltburn.
Oh, dude, I gotta watch Saltburn. I know. I know.
No, but I think that generally you'll get like one or two or three good sports movies per sport.
yeah,
I think baseball has more than that.
yeah. Baseball's got a solid roster. I mean, you could even go to like the bad Disney ones, like the Angels in the Outfield. You know, a lot of people really like that one.
Yeah.
You know, you have a lot of options, but
Yeah.
yeah, the Sandlot is just one of those ones that you put them in the top. It's a feel good story.
Yeah.
so.
Well, let's talk about some Calvin sports.
Yeah.
Because we have a special guest, we're gonna let them talk about their favorite sports teams because we talk about ours the most. So go
Yeah.
for it.
All right, so starting off, we're just talking about baseball. I'm gonna talk a little bit of Orioles baseball. I'm a huge Orioles fan. I followed all my dad's teams, but it was kind of by force. If I didn't, I was gonna get disowned and
Same.
left out in the street. So so I followed the Orioles. I remember at one point in my childhood, I tried to switch to being an Angels fan, and I'm really happy that did not pan out because oh my
Why?
god. I thought the Angels were cool. I liked Mike Trout.
Yeah, I
That
was
really
about to
it.
say Mike
And-
Trout.
Yeah, but then I was like, you know what? I'm sticking with the Orioles. I'm literally named Calvin after Cal Ripken. So.
Oh, sick.
But yeah, so the Orioles pitchers and catchers reported for baseball. Super excited about this season for the O's. Just acquired Corbin Burns from the Brewers. We just sold the team to a few equity billionaires and a whole team of owners, which includes Cal Ripken Jr., which is really
Yeah.
cool for the team. Just a former player that everyone respects and is regarded as one of the best, if not the best, shortstop of all time.
Oh yeah. Better than Derek Jeter.
I mean, I'm not gonna say it, but I don't disagree. Defensively, 100%.
Oh,
Hitting, you can definitely make an argument. But yeah. So unfortunately, the Orioles had some bad news this morning. John Means is gonna start the season on the IL, and the same with Kyle Bradish, who was in the AL Cy Young conversation last year for sure. I mean, if Garrett Cole didn't have the season he had, I think Bradish definitely had a strong. I think he had the second best ERA.
Yeah.
It was,
can't
it was
stand Garrett
sub
Cole.
three ERA. Yeah, I mean, I can't stand the Yankees. The Yankees are
Yankees are the worst.
the
team in
worst.
baseball.
Yeah, no, the worst team in sports. I know
They
we have
refuse to
Mr.
change
Smith, who's
their
a big
whole-
Yankees fan over in the corner, and he's probably wanting to
Waiting for
strangle
the-
me
wait,
right now.
Oh no, I think he put headphones on.
Oh, okay, good.
Okay.
So yeah, the Yankees.
Yankees
yes.
suck. Boo,
I was saying- yeah, I was saying how much I hate the Niners and how much I can't root for the Niners. There's only one team in all sports that I hate more than the Niners, and that is the New York Yankees. Although originally my hot take was, so I'll do my second hot take now. I guess. I think Juan Soto is going to beat Judge's record this year for home runs.
Really?
I think Juan Soto, he is the best left-handed hitter in baseball behind only Bryce Harper. And
Yeah.
with
What
the
about-
Mickey
what about-
Mouse wall that the Yankees
They
have
do
in
have
right
a
field,
Mickey Mouse
it is a
wall.
Mickey Mouse wall.
They do have a
Juan
Mickey Mouse
Soto, I mean,
wall.
all he has to do is get a little pop, Ooh. all
Get
he's
a little
gotta do, all he's got to do is hit that ball like a little bit, and he's gonna hit nukes. So
Yeah.
that's my hot take. I think, and even if he doesn't, he's gonna have a
Yeah.
huge season with that Yankee right field wall. Although I will admit the Padres did have a pretty short right field, and he didn't do anything special with it. So it's possible I'm wrong.
How do you guys feel about all baseball fields not being uniform?
I like it. It adds
agree.
individuality to each
Mhm.
stadium. I think there should be a minimum, and I think the Yankees are a little below that minimum.
I agree.
But I mean, it's cool. You have a lot of bits with it. Like the Orioles have that huge left field wall now because their stadium used to be really easy to hit home runs in. So they pushed back the left field wall, and now all the Orioles fans are calling it Mount Baltimore, the Great Wall. You know, and it's always really cool when a player hits one over. It's just that much more hype. And also, it's fun to hear Aaron Judge cry about it because he's it's so stupid. It's a home run in 29 out of 30 stadiums. Like I don't know, hit it in the other 29 stadiums, you'll be fine. I don't tell you, get a little more pop in your hit. Shut up, Aaron Judge. No one cares about you. You know, you have you have the teeth of a Brit. I don't know what you want. But yeah, I can't stand Aaron Judge. I can't stand the Yankees. But yeah, so Bradish and Means starting the season on the IL, which is unfortunate. So right now the rotation's probably looking like obviously Burns is going to be the ace. You have Dean Kramer. You have Cole Irvin. You have Tyler Wells. Tyler Wells is a pitcher that I really like and I think can be good because when he's good, he's pretty darn good. But I think he just burnt out halfway through last season. He just burnt out, and they sent him down to the minors, and they didn't call him back up to the playoffs, and they had him in the bullpen for the playoffs.
Yeah. Well, like James Paxton last year.
Yeah.
Started super good, but he just ran out of steam. I'm guessing that's just an age thing. He's just getting a little older.
Well, I saw Kluber just retired.
Thank
Kluber.
God.
Yeah, Kluber.
Thank God.
Kluber was an injury. How are you feeling? No Chris Sale this year.
It was time.
He went
It
to
was
Atlanta.
time. Whenever he was healthy, he was good.
Yeah.
Not great, but good. Like solid, giving up like a run or two.
I mean, that
a game.
2019 year or 2018, whatever
20,
year
like 17 to 19
was his prime.
was
That was
so good.
ridiculous. He was the best.
And
pitcher
like I
in
will
baseball.
fully admit that winning the world that final inning of the World Series in 2018, that's probably where he gave himself his lasting arm injuries. Like
I mean-
coming back on 2 days rest to close out a World Series.
But it's like
But I would
if there's a
do the
player to
exact
do
same
it,
thing.
it's Chris Sale.
Yeah.
Like
But
it was 100% the right move.
I'm okay with it. I think that it's a rebuild year. I'd rather them fix the catch-up than the bullpen. I'm not even going to lie to you. But, yeah.
So it should be an interesting baseball season. The Orioles definitely have some competition in the East. Like you have the Red Sox, who I mean, even when the Red Sox aren't good, they're always
We fight.
stubborn. Yeah,
Little
they're
dominance.
Boston's
They're
strong. So
Hoorah.
hoorah! But yeah, I mean, the Yankees are always going to be a Goliath. As much as I hate to say it, the Blue Jays are definitely going to be interesting. Vlad Guerrero, who's
Ugh.
one of the best players, one of the best first basemen in baseball, and he just got named as the cover athlete for MLB 24, which is
Sick.
pretty interesting. I have to admit the cover looks pretty dope. As
It
much
is,
as I don't,
But I
like
don't think
Vladdy.
I don't think he should have been the pick.
I agree. I think it should have been Acuna.
Probably.
Acuna's just he's coming off a fantastic year. Honestly, could have made an argument for Adley or Gunnar, who are flashy. Like Gunnar. Gunner's a flashy player. That's what I really like about the O's and about Gunnar Henderson. My favorite player right now is Adley, but Gunnar Henderson, he brings flash like to a team that like hasn't had flash since like Manny Machado and Adam Jones. Which
Yeah,
was,
fair
like
enough, fair enough.
2016,
Yeah.
which the last time we made the playoffs before this year. But yeah, so it should be an interesting season for the Orioles. Start off a little rough with the starting rotation.
But
The
you'll
bullpen,
get
I
there.
definitely think could use some work, but we got Craig Kimbrell from the Phillies, which is
I
pretty
love
sweet.
Craig Kimbrell. I love Craig Kimbrell.
Craig Kimbrell. It was funny because I went to a Phillies game. I was talking about it earlier, and Kimbrell came in the ninth because it was 0-0 going into the ninth inning. And Kimbrell, he does that little hand thing,
and everyone in the crowd just does the same
yeah,
thing.
no, he does the little hand thing, and my dad goes, "I like that hand thing he's doing." Actually, I don't know why I said that. I really don't like it. and now he's on the Orioles, but I think it's pretty fun.
That's similar. I saw Chris Sale on the White Sox murder the Red Sox in 2016.
Really?
He ripped through us.
Yeah.
He pitched 8 perfect innings,
Wow.
and then they pulled him in the 8th for some reason. But
I mean,
then we traded for him the next year, and it was sick.
yeah, that's dope.
Yeah.
It's cool like seeing former players like come to your team.
Yeah, it's really nice. The feeling was like this guy. I watched him tear apart like a good lineup, and now we have him.
Yeah, no, like that's how it kind of felt about Kimbrel, because like I was like Kimbrel's like a really top, like, he's a really solid relief pitcher.
He's like
He's
I have a
inconsistent.
love-hate relationship with him because when he's good, he's good.
Yeah,
But when he's bad, he loses us the NLCS.
yeah,
So-
fair enough.
Yeah, no,
Almost
maybe.
lost us the World
Well,
Series.
Listen, all I gotta say is maybe maybe the American League is a new look for him. Maybe it's just the National League that
Yeah.
scares
We'll
him.
see.
But yeah, no, he shouldn't be replacing Felix Bautista, who's I think is the best closer in baseball.
Yeah.
But whatever. So anyway, going to my next team, Seahawks. Seahawks are having an interesting offseason, saying goodbye to Pete Carroll, which was, it was the right move. I've been saying we should get rid of Pete Carroll for the past few years because he just hasn't been able to adapt to the new age of the NFL.
Yeah.
He's still very set on his guidelines and his ideologies. But he's a player's coach, and the relationship that he had with the players is something really special. Like you even saw like the day they fired him, the day after, all the players put together a goodbye party.
Was he
They-
fired?
Yeah.
I thought
Yeah.
he just stepped down.
They let him go. No, dude, Pete Carroll, if he could still coach that team, he would 100% be
Oh,
still
yeah.
coaching that team. They gave him an office spot. Really, I mean, he's just gonna be a hype man. I don't think he's gonna be doing any like critical work.
Yeah.
But super super happy with the hire. We got Mike McDonald from the Ravens.
There you go.
Dude, he was my dream. He was my top pick all year.
I think he might be the best coach signing.
I 100% agree.
offseason.
Yeah.
His defensive mind is something like Seattle in their entirety has been known for their defense and their scrappy offense, but that defense has just been, it's been known for its dominant defense.
Legion of Boom.
And the Legion of Boom, it kind of annoys me sometimes when everyone's bringing up like, oh, it's time to run back the Legion of Boom. Like it's
No.
a different team.
Yeah.
There's not a single, other than Bobby Wagner, there's not a single player on this team from the Legion of Boom.
Yeah.
Other than Bobby Wagner. And Bobby Wagner, like, he's a free agent now, and I know he's interested in resigning. I kind of want to stick with Jordan Brooks and, I don't know, maybe draft somebody because Wagner's old and you like he led the league in tackles this year, but it's like because he got burnt and then he tackled him right after he got burnt. Like it's like he lets up a lot of receptions and a lot of yards. So I really love Wagner. I love everything he did for the team. It might be time to let him go.
Yeah.
Though. But we got a new offensive and defensive coordinator and a new special teams coordinator who is the son of the one of the Harbaughs.
Oh, there
So
you go.
Jay
Oh,
Harbaugh is the new special teams
Yeah.
coordinator, which I appreciate because the Seahawks' old special teams coordinator, I don't know his name, but did a pretty good job. My only issue is DJ Dallas at punt returner, and DJ Dallas is so slow. And I love DJ Dallas, but like he should not be returning punts. We have a lot of players that could be way better. So I know I'm getting to the nitty gritty
No, you're
details.
good,
I'm only a
you're good,
Seahawks fan
you're
right now. But yeah, no, I'm really excited about this season for the Hawks.
Mm-hmm.
They just announced that they are going to keep Geno Smith on contract at the very least. They're not going to release him
There you go.
this week. So he's a $12 million cap hit this year, which
not bad.
it wouldn't surprise me if they restructure it a little bit. I know that there's a possibility of them trading him. I don't really see that happening. I don't think any team really would want him, honestly.
Patriots take him.
I mean, the Patriots.
Pitchers will take anyone.
He's better than Bailey Zappi.
But like, I feel like if Geno Smith was and didn't have Lockett and the Seahawks have a tough offseason. John Schneider had a tough offseason. It was their GM.
Yeah.
Had to find a new head coach and also has negative $2 million in cap space to work with and a lot of players to re-sign and a fairly early draft pick. 16? I think it is. I think they have the 16th pick in the draft. So, he has a lot to deal with this offseason. I think there's some easy ways to definitely get some cap space out. I think the easy one is cut Jamal Adams, who has not panned out for them.
Yeah.
They spent a lot on him, and he just has not been the player they want him to be, which is unfortunate because I have a Jamal Adams jersey.
Oh, that's rough.
It was funny because his return was the game against the Giants week 4 on Monday night, and I went to that game, and I wore my Jamal Adams jersey because I was like, heck yeah, his first game back. I haven't worn this jersey at a game before. He plays 2 plays, and he gets a concussion. I'm like, are you...
Nice.
So I was like, dude, I'm like, and even when he does play, he's not good. Like he's getting burnt a lot. Like you saw it in that Niners game in Santa Clara. Like he got destroyed by the Niners wide receivers. It was embarrassing to watch.
Yeah.
And teams are calling him out. And even in the Cowboys game, like we could have won that game if Julian Love made the Pro Bowl over him. He's the backup. He was supposed to be the backup, and Julian Love made the Pro Bowl this year. So it just like Jamal Adams, like he's washed. He never panned out to be the player that he could have been, and we wanted him to be. So I think easy move definitely cut him. Another move which I really don't want the Seahawks to do, but it might be the right move, is get rid of Tyler Lockett, either through trade or cut, who is so reliable to that Seahawks wide receiver group. But I mean, you have Smith and Jigba, who's a young talent, and I think because it was kind of a crowded receiver room, we really didn't get to see a lot about him. And also, I know he has mean beef with the Seahawks' old OC, Shane Waldron, who is now the Bears offensive coordinator. Because he got asked on a show, like, tell us about the coordinator the Bears just got. And he's just kind of like, yeah, he's all right. And so, I'm interested to see if the Seahawks do decide to get rid of Lockett, which would pain me, but
Patriots will take him.
I know. I mean, honestly,
Honestly,
I'll be real.
honestly, I think the Patriots would take me at this point.
I have done a few Seahawks franchises in Madden.
Oh, yeah.
And 9 times out of 10, I trade them to either the Patriots or the Commanders for some extra cap space. And honestly, dude, like, you have Metcalf, who can be a really, really good receiver. Like, he really turned it on at the end of this last year. And then JSN, and then also Jake Bobo, dude, who is like
Not a clue. Who that
you have
is.
no idea who Jake
I'm
Bobo is.
sorry, but
No, listen, no one does except for Seahawks fans. But he has the coolest name ever, and he makes flashy plays, and he's slow. He has like one of the worst 40 times in the history of wide receivers at the combine, but he's just a dog.
nice.
So anyway, but yeah, so I'm excited to see what the Seahawks do this offseason. Definitely some workout cut out for them. And I'm tying into our next topic. We're gonna talk a little bit of hockey here.
Yeah. So
which I
something
know-
fun. Calvin knows stuff about hockey, unlike the rest of us.
Yeah. So I've been.
Seeing as we are running low on time, can you do
Oh,
rapid hockey?
I'll blitz through it real quick. We'll talk Islanders real quick. I'm an Islanders fan. Patrick Waugh, their new head coach, finally got rid of the Lane Train. Lane Train was terrible. Lane Lambert, one of the worst coaches. He looks like Herman Munster. So can't stand Herman Munster. But Patrick Waugh is exactly what the Islanders need right now. It's not really panning out right now, but I think it's more of an issue of player execution than not coaching. So I'm interested to see where that goes. Also, the LA Kings are falling off hard. Like, they're already like. They came into the season with a decent amount of hype with all the South Park bits they do, but like they're 4-13 in 2024, and that includes like a few playoff losses here and there. But like it's really bad. So, but kind of the opposite end of the spectrum, Canucks are having a really really good push here towards the end. They're leading the league in 78 points, and they just traded for Lindholm from Calgary, who scored 2 goals in their first game with the team. So a big pickup for them. And then also the Oilers, who are 18-2 in their last 20. Connor McDavid, just doing what Connor McDavid does, one of the most talented players the game's ever seen. And speaking of one of the most talented players the game's ever seen, let's talk a little bit of Alex Ovechkin, who is getting even closer to beating Wayne Gretzky's all-time goals
Is
record.
he going to?
I think he might. Honestly, Wayne Gretzky. What's cool about Wayne Gretzky is in any other sport, it's debatable who the GOAT is of that sport. But I think hockey, everyone says it's Wayne Gretzky. But Alex Ovechkin, I'm not saying he's making a push for GOAT status, but I think he's gonna make a push for all-time goals. He's not showing signs of slowing down. I think he scored in each of his last 3 games. He's getting hot at the right time, and I think that might get him the record. So, but he also just beat his record for most empty net goals of all time, which is interesting.
Yeah.
And then also talking a little bit of Tampa Bay Lightning, which as an Islanders fan, I hate the Lightning, but Kucherov is really carrying them. He leads the league in points right now. And a player that should be a superstar, but sadly is hurt right now. Blackhawks, Connor Bedard, rookie sensation, who is still, I think he injured his jaw. So yeah, that's what's going on in the hockey world right now. I hope I educated you guys a little bit.
Awesome. Thank you. We have one last thing. Evan's got a hot take for us. Do you also have a hot take, Charles?
I'm working on it.
Okay, we got 2 more hot takes, and then we're going to wrap it up. Evan, hit us.
All right, my hot take is Tua turn the ball over is the most overrated quarterback in the league.
I don't know, man. He was pretty good in that Paramount commercial.
He was good in the parent.
I don't know if he's overrated because people talk a good amount of smack about him. Like I don't know if I'd call him overrated. I agree with what you're saying that he's not as talented, but like people say a lot of bad stuff about him.
Take away Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill and see what he does. See what he does without his.
I feel like you
the
can
two-
say that about a lot of quarterbacks.
You
You can't say that about
quarterback.
Mahomes though, because Mahomes is
I
doing
think
just fine.
Mahomes is
Mahomes
just
did
about
it
your
with-
excuse, but I'm thinking you take away Debo and Kittle and McCaffrey and Ayuk.
Take away Diggs from Allen. See what Allen.
Yeah,
does.
take away.
I'm very curious
Diggs.
about that.
I would love it if that
because
happened.
I don't think Diggs is sticking around.
And I don't think Allen is that guy.
I think Allen can be the guy,
I don't
but
think he is. Too many picks. But
I mean,
Sometimes you throw a lot of picks.
Yeah.
he just throws it.
I do think Tua could be good.
He's
I
a
don't think
hawker.
he's
he can be good.
miserable
His arm
player.
strength isn't there.
Yeah, no, he's
Yeah,
got
but QBs have
he's got to get a little bit in the roids game. Honestly, hit the gym.
the roids game.
yeah, he's got to hop on the roids train.
I mean, QBs have succeeded before without incredible arm strength.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why is he failing? I don't know.
Tom
He's not
Brady didn't
clutch.
have a cannon until the second half of his career.
Well, because first Tua was running, and now he's not running anymore because
Well, 'cause
Well, he's
concussion
afraid of
city.
getting
He-
another
yeah,
concussion.
three
yeah.
Yeah,
concussions
dude,
in
that,
1
I
year.
forgot.
Well, and that's
about
what
that,
that's what's
Yeah.
basically happened at this point
I
because
thought it was
Josh
pretty
Allen
lower.
was running. I think Josh Allen at this point is the only mobile quarterback who hasn't gotten seriously injured because of running. Because Patrick Mahomes, Lamar, I guess.
The Lamar's had some
But
serious.
Lamar's
Lamar's
had
had some
some-
injuries,
some
but nothing like
concussions and stuff.
serious.
Yeah, not enough to stop him from running. So I guess Josh Allen, Lamar, but Patrick Mahomes had his knee
His
injury.
knee was like
Yeah,
his
like, you have
kneecap was,
not
like,
seen-
down
You have
here.
not
Yeah.
seen the Chiefs do a QB sneak since then.
I guess. I mean, I guess Russell doesn't.
Running
He's
more.
just kind
Russ
of got
doesn't.
old. He didn't really get a. Did he ever get an injury that stopped him from running?
No, not running. He had a knee injury in 2016, but he kept scrambling. I mean, he had that finger issue in his last year with the team. But
Yeah.
no, nothing that kept him
Yeah.
stop running. He's just kind of he honestly, dude, like even like one of my favorite quotes is Tariq Woolen. First time he played against Russell Wilson in his first career game, he goes, "Dude, he looks like a sack of potatoes. Like he got fat. Russell Wilson got really fat."
That's
I
why
don't
he's
know.
doing the high knees on the plane.
Yeah,
Gotta work
exactly.
it off.
He's got to work it off. But yeah, like he looks like a couch potato right now. I don't know what happened.
Yeah.
He just kind of put on some weight. So,
Broncos
but I'm
don't
curious to see what the Broncos do with him this offseason.
I don't hate that. I think
Alright.
yeah. Charlie, you
He's
got one for us?
overrated, yeah.
George Kittle is the most overrated tight end and needs to
Wrong.
retire.
Wrong.
Needs to
retire. That is wild.
He
Wrong.
did
Explain
absolutely
yourself.
nothing in the
yourself.
Super
Did
Bowl.
he just
How
screw
are
over
you
your
going to-
fantasy? Is that it?
You know-
Did he
you
just
know-
screw over your fantasy?
Are you just
Well,
a
one,
fantasy
he's
sheep?
terrible in fantasy. He's so bad in fantasy. Like he cannot score
Did
to
he
save
have
his
it in
life.
fantasy?
And like into
I'm
the Super
pulling
Bowl,
his stats.
he didn't do anything. I think he got out on the field, got injured, went in the locker room, came back, and then did continue doing nothing.
Oh,
I'm
I
sorry,
did see
can I-
something where it was the
May-
Niners.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
When it was
Your
the
show.
first Niners Chiefs Super Bowl, he's like, "I will be back, and I will be back with a vengeance."
And then he
and
did
then the
nothing.
next Super
Did
Bowl,
not
2
have a
catches.
vengeance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But listen, I like to say that, playing tight end is not just receiving. It's
Yeah.
blocking. And it's
If playing
it's being
tight
a
end
play
was
record.
just receiving, then Travis Kelce would be the greatest ever. But he's not. Gronk's the greatest.
Exactly.
Well, I'm not saying that all of his job is receiving, but he seems
Charlie.
like when you need a big man to catch a football and run down the field and just take out players left and right like Gronk used to do.
Travis Kelce was a 1,000-yard receiver this year.
You mean George
Or
Kittle?
George Kittle was a 1,000-yard receiver this
I
year
don't care.
on a team with 3 other
I
Pro Bowl
don't
weapons.
care.
Weren't
You
all
need to
three
show
of
up
them?
in the Super Bowl when your team needs you.
Okay, but I don't hear you talking smack about Brandon Ayuk. I don't see you saying that he only had 3 catches in the Super Bowl.
Because
That's Purdy's fault.
Is a mid-tier.
He had
Well,
300 receiving yards. He has
On that
established
team-
himself as the #1 receiver on
On
that
that
team,
team-
on a team with Deebo Samuel and George Kittle and Jawan Jennings,
On that-
who popped off in that Super Bowl, who was going to win Super Bowl MVP if the Niners won that game. Jawan Jennings.
On that team, Brandon
This
Ayuk
kid's
is not the
tripping,
best
dude.
player. He's a good wide receiver. I misspoke. He's a mid-tier player on their team because it's such a powerful team. He's
Would
not the
you-
guy that they're relying on day to day.
Do you think-
Because Debo's
Look at that
there.
look at that
Debo
Saints
is
game.
Is he
who they're
better than
going
Debo?
to. Christian McCaffrey's who they're going to. Ayuk is there. He's a good player. He's getting catches. Kittle is that #1 slot. He's that tight end. He's on the face of the franchise. He's been around the longest on that team, and he's the one that should be making plays, and he's not.
I'm going to refer you to that Saints game a few years ago where
Yeah.
he
That was a few
single-handedly
years ago. A few years ago.
He's
This
still
year,
making
I'm
plays
talking
like
about
that, dude.
2024.
He's still making plays like that, dude. Look at that Dallas game. He destroyed
Yeah.
Dallas' secondary. Destroyed
Where was he
it.
in the Super Bowl?
Dude, he got hurt. I don't know what to tell you, man. It comes to a point where you kind of have to blame Purdy.
Okay,
If
blame
your
Purdy.
Yeah.
if
We
your
don't
top
do that
receivers
enough.
aren't getting the ball, maybe it's the quarterback's fault.
If you're making throws that injure your receiver, it's the quarterback's fault.
Okay.
Not the defender's fault, not the receiver's fault. It's the quarterback's fault.
That's why Brady is really smart because he didn't throw hospital passes.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think the big thing no one's talking about is that Brock Purdy was a big reason they lost that Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Well, you see,
I'm not a Brock Purdy hater. I think what he's doing
Mhm.
is amazing. But
I mean, all of their like
I'm a Brock
yards
Purdy
and
hater.
progression
and a
came
fry.
from through CMC. I mean,
Or Jennings.
Purdy threw for like I think he was like something like 260 yards, so that's not terrible. But in the Super Bowl, if you're not consistently the driving force of your team as the quarterback, you're not going to get done. A running back is great. A running back can get you yards when you need it, but you need the quarterback to rally around and be your light in the darkness.
You know what? I think the Niners should have Jawan Jennings as their QB1.
Yeah, dude, Jawan Jennings is a dog.
He
That
is.
was, I'm telling you, he would have won Super Bowl MVP. He was having
I
a
think it would've been
fantastic
him or
game.
CMC. But.
Yeah, no, CMC. I don't think CMC did enough. I
Well,
mean,
CMC kind of.
he's-
CMC was the only reason they were moving that ball in the last.
Yeah, but
drive.
he had
scored
that
a tou-
fumble at
yeah.
the beginning. Which
He
I
had
think-
that fumble at the beginning, and he had that one touchdown that was pretty sweet, but it was kind of wide open. But you know, you're saying this about Purdy, but Purdy's being like, you know, like he played well. But my beef is, why is Jalen Hurts not getting that treatment? I'm a D1 Eagles hater. I'm sorry, Evan, but I'm a D1 Eagles hater. But I must say, people blaming Jalen Hurts for that Super Bowl last year is extremely unjustified.
Yeah.
He had
Thank you.
a fantastic performance in that game, Evan.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry that
Who should
people.
they be blaming?
Our defense.
The defense.
Our
Yeah, I mean,
defense.
You'll have 38
I mean,
points.
it's-
Jonathan Gannon specifically.
Yeah,
your
Horrible play. No blitz. No blitzing
Yeah.
at all. And I remember Eagles owner, he like, as everyone's getting on the plane, he stopped Gannon. He's like, "You're not getting on with us." And then they left. They left him in Arizona.
Really?
Yep.
Cold.
Wow.
Dude, that's crazy.
That
Yep.
seems like something Bill Belichick would do, to be honest.
Yeah.
I
Alrighty.
think
He said
we're
you're
at
not
the end
getting
here.
on the plane. That's crazy.
Yeah. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna wrap it up here. Thank you so much for joining us. It's been a wonderful time. Thank you, Calvin, for joining
Thank you.
us.
Thanks for having me,
Thank
guys.
you.
Check out,
Uh,
keep watching Zova Sports. Check out Morbid Movies, and
Yeah, please go check out more movies.
Yeah.
We'll throw up all their ads on the screen. Thank you so much, and have a good one. Peace.